Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. So somehow with all our tangents, we're actually on my normal time schedule still, so doing well.
We did it.
All right. Somehow the ADHD still worked out. All right.
Maybe my lack of science knowledge helped us.
So we're starting with Eric's tweet. I just picked this because I thought it was hilarious. Says, "Do not eat pizza. Don't feed your children pizza. Pizza has zero nutrients. It is bland, synthetic, and filled with MSG, carcinogenic flavorants, and addictive gluteomorphin. Pizza inflames your gut, kills your taste buds, and destroys your dopamine receptors. Hashtag better together."
Literally the only thing that's destroying my dopamine receptors is having to read that fucking tweet.
I mean, if your pizza's bland, you're ordering the wrong pizza.
Pizza's delicious.
Pizza, like, it can be bland if you do like a cheese-only pizza, but even that, it's still like
but
bad.
It's still pretty
bad
good.
Pizza is still good.
Yeah,
like pizza's one of those foods.
I don't know that
right?
I've had actually bad pizza, and trust me, I have tried many a pizza because I'm a big fan.
You know what? This is going to be a hot take. I'm actually a fan of Little Caesars. Not because their pizza's amazing, but because I can feed my entire family for $20.
Hey, no shame. Yeah, no, I mean, the thing is like, if you're telling me you're putting bread and cheese together in some combination,
you can't go wrong.
It's probably gonna be good. I don't know. I just like, you're putting melted cheese and like fried bread. Now, if you're saying pizza isn't always healthy,
absolutely.
Sure, fine. I'm with
I'd
you
even
on that.
say most of the time it's not healthy.
Right.
It can be healthy if you do it right, but
Yeah,
most people don't.
It's no. But to say that like you should not feed your kids pizza because it's going to destroy their dopamine receptors.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he says it kills your taste buds, but like, I would think that something that kills your taste buds would be something with too much flavor, wouldn't it? Because then it overwhelms them and makes them less receptive later.
Yeah, this person doesn't understand like
well, they don't understand a lot based on
the brightest bulb on the marquee. But like, yeah, like.
But this tweet has 2,000. This tweet has 2,000 likes. Yeah, pizza's good for dopamine.
Yeah, I actually would like some pizza right now, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what? It's been a while since we've done homemade pizza, but I probably won't make the bread. That was something that Mrs. Rhino did that I was always bad at. So I will probably just like buy tortillas or something and do tortilla pizza. The kids love that. But we use barbecue sauce instead of tomato sauce. We get like there's like this nice whiskey bourbon flavored barbecue sauce or whatever that we use. That's really, really good. And then you put all your toppings on top of the sauce, and then you put the cheese on top of the toppings, so it keeps them in place. And we load it up with like olives and bacon and all sorts of good stuff.
There's this place out here called California Pizza Kitchen, and they have like a really good pizza that has barbecue sauce as the sauce, and then like I don't even remember, chicken and some other stuff on top. But yes, very delicious. I don't eat it very often because the problem with me is that I could like house a whole pizza by myself. And I absolutely have no self-control, so I will do that.
Yeah, that happens to me. So my daughter's a vegetarian, so we'll order. When I do Little Caesars, I always, rather than getting their hot and ready things, I'll actually go through and order them. That she likes pineapple on her pizza, so we'll get like pineapple and feta cheese. And no, they don't do feta at Little Caesars. But whatever, I let her pick her toppings, and then I order my pizza will just be like their standard Canadian or something. And the boys will have like some of hers and some of mine, but I usually end up eating like half the pizza by myself in one sitting, and then I regret it for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will tell you. So if you get I know we're going kind of back. If you get medicated for ADHD, most likely what they'll give you is Adderall.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen this way for everyone. It happened this way for me. It kills my appetite for like the 8 hours after I've taken it. So I'll take it in the morning. I will not be hungry at all during the day. We'll forget to eat. They'll tell you like, remember to eat, drink water. And then at night, when I get hungry, I'll be like, oh, I'm really hungry. And that is when bad decisions are made. And by bad decisions, I mean eating an entire pizza.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've yeah,
Which,
I'll polish off a whole pint of Ben and Jerry's by myself.
man after my own heart.
Yeah. Yes. Someone in the chat's asking about a Canadian pizza. So Canadian pizza is bacon, mushrooms, and pepperoni. Is the
Ugh.
Canadian.
I'm getting really hungry at the moment.
So let's move on from the pizza.
We're talking about the pizza.
All right. So we've got Sygart. I like this one. This one was cute. So he says, sitting in the waiting room of our lives, this is what I named the stream after. We wonder where God is. He is there waiting with us and helping us prepare for the joy to come. So obviously he's talking about life is the waiting room and heaven is the real thing. And then I think his response to this, where he says, why do atheists think I'm talking about wasting our lives with waiting? I'm totally against wasting 1 minute of the life we have. It's like, I don't know, Cy.
So you described it as a waiting room.
Why do you think why do you think we got the impression that you're talking about waiting when you use the word waiting?
I can't imagine.
Like what is waiting if not like
Yeah. What do you do in a waiting room?
you waste time?
Just out of curiosity, do you like engage ferociously with every second of your life? Or no, you sit there and you flip through a magazine you don't really care about and try and
Magazines.
find something.
How old are you? Cell phones now. Switches.
Fine, I'm old, but well now
You're probably
that's
younger
true.
than
Now
me.
I will use my cell phone. I don't know why I thought of magazines. I just remember sitting in
Yeah,
waiting
no,
rooms when I was
that
younger
is
and, like,
that is the
yeah.
trope. Okay.
Or like staring at the like terrible fucking wall art and wondering
Yes.
like what that's supposed to be and also why it's there. And
You know what?
also, if you're
My
me,
doctor's office has
who
nice
chose that?
My doctor's office actually has nice wall art. So I live in the Niagara region, and it's all like beautiful pictures of the Niagara Gorge, which is the gorge that's been carved out by the Niagara River, and it's just
It's
covered in
probably God, to be honest.
trees, and all the pictures are in like the autumn, so they're all different colors and stuff. They're actually really nice pictures.
Hey, I love it. I love to see it. I don't see it here somehow, even though I live in California. Um, but good Lord. Yeah, I guess also, okay, and I know, sorry, I'm gonna ruin it like I do everything. When you said it's like cute and like, yeah, that is cute, I guess. But also, the first thing I thought when I read that was like, God, what a death cult. Because it's like,
Yeah, no.
it's
When I said
okay,
cute,
well,
that was meant in the condescending, like, oh, how cute. Like that
bless
wasn't.
your heart,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
brother in
exactly.
Christ. Yeah, because it's like, sorry, someone said they work at a pizza place and we're killing them. Um, One thing I always say about Christianity, and yes, okay, if you're a universalist, this isn't true. Like, fine, there are exceptions.
They're barely Christian.
Barely, I know. Um, at least how I grew up in non-denominational evangelical Christianity, you cannot, you're born bad, effectively. You're
Yeah.
born sinful and awful and terrible and blah, blah, blah. Um, and you cannot, no matter what you do, redeem yourself, right? The only thing you can do is accept Jesus and he will give you that redemption, but you don't become sort of this like perfect, redeemed, holy human being until you fucking die.
Yep.
Like, so they treat this life as a very much like a waiting room, as this like transitive place
It's
that
exactly
doesn't
what he
much
said it is.
matter. Sorry.
It's exactly what he said it is. It's the
Exactly.
waiting room
No,
of our
he's not
lives.
wrong. He's just missing his point by like 1 million miles. It's like he ran fucking dick first into the point and just missed it. Because it's like, yeah, that's exactly what Christians treat this life as, and that's why we're in trouble with so many things like climate change, right? Like Christians are like, who cares? This place overrated. It doesn't matter. Nothing good can happen here. Can't wait. Cannot wait to die and
Now,
get to heaven.
I have a logistical question. So you're not the first person I've heard use the phrase "run dick first into something," but from context, I've always heard it as kind of like a positive. Well, not necessarily positive. Like, what are you picturing when you say this? Like, dick first is in like oh, there's a naked person on the bed in front of me, I run dick first into them? Or is it more like run dick first into that post that's sticking up out of the thing and then and you
Yes.
flip?
It's
Okay.
more like they got really excited about something. They thought they had this
Okay.
like great idea, and they got
So
excited,
it's not
and
that they
then
hit the goal with the dick.
no, it's that they were like, "Ooh, this is it. This is the one." Like, I'm ready. And then they like just ran into that post, but somehow still managed to miss it. Like, I don't know. Like they got excited. They're like, "Hell yeah." And then they just ran into the post and were like, where did that come from?
Well,
What just happened?
I saw this one because Paul of Apologia retweeted it, and he had the comment that probably inspired Sai to do the follow up. But I didn't know about the follow up. I was just like, oh, that'd be a good one for Twit tweets. And then I saw the follow up and like, that's a great one for Twit tweets.
It's just it's so right and so incredibly wrong
Yeah.
at the same time that it's like damn near embarrassing. Uh, but you know, I'm probably a little biased.
Yeah. Oh, next. This is the one. This is the only tweet I need to resize the thingy for. So bear with me a sec. Mitch McConnell calls on Democrats to pass Supreme Court security bill after man arrested outside Brett Kavanaugh's home. House Democrats must pass this bill and they need to do it today. No more fiddling around with this. They need to pass it today before the sun sets. It's like funny how when a gun is found just near a Supreme Court justice, immediate action needs to be taken. But when children are mowed down with guns in schools, thoughts and prayers.
All I can say about this is that Vecna can shut the fuck up. That's my opinion on that. Fuck
Oh, Vecna's much
that
better looking than him.
whole ass Vecna bitch.
Vecna looks young compared
Dude,
to
if
compared to
your
Mitch
own
McConnell.
fucking skin is running away from your face, maybe consider why that is. Like, God, sorry. Mitch McConnell is someone I hate more than almost anyone on
Yeah,
planet Earth.
he's on my
And
list of people that when they die, I will probably be a little bit happy.
oh,
Like I don't, I
not a
try
little
not,
bit.
I try not to celebrate people's deaths, but
Yeah. No, generally speaking, I try to be someone who recognizes that people are human when they die, that people are mourning, generally. But I will not exclusively be that person because when you have wreaked so much harm intentionally and for your own benefit at the expense of innocent lives and marginalized people,
yeah,
I have said this publicly more than once and I stand by it. When that man dies, I am buying an expensive bottle of champagne.
nice. Veuve
We will
Clicquot,
drink it together.
really good.
Yep, exactly. Love it. And
My
I don't think people
my brother-in-law got married and his father had he bought like 15 bottles of Veuve Clicquot for the wedding, and that was like, I've only been drunk a handful of times in my life, and that was one of them where I got drunk off of this really expensive champagne. It was great. It was a fun
I
time.
love I the problem with champagne, I love it, don't get me wrong. Um it's the sugar content will give you a massive headache the next day,
See, I
but
was
you
actually
will
fine
be
the next day.
happy as shit while you're drunk.
Yeah,
Like,
it was an easy drunk. Yeah,
yes, it's not hard to just like, yeah, especially the good champagne.
yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
fully
it
agree.
was really good.
Um, Also, I know a number of people that, given the opportunity, will piss directly on his grave,
Hmm.
and I would usually,
I would make a trip to the States for that.
yes, like usually I would be like, okay, let's be, nope, nope, I will help the GoFundMe.
Well,
Like,
I and I almost want to like. I feel like. Okay, I'm not sure if what I'm about to say is a felony or not. But okay, I'm going to preface this by saying this is a joke. This is not serious. Do not take me seriously.
for legal purposes.
For yeah, I feel like the tie he's wearing in this picture would be the perfect tie to strangle him with.
Yeah, for me,
'Cause-
any
'cause-
tie.
No, but look at the colors of the tie.
Let me pull it up. Tell me it's red and blue.
No, it's literally the trans colors,
Oh my
the
fucking
trans
God.
flag colors. That's the perfect tie to, just joking, strangle him with.
JK LOL. Um,
Yeah, I'm not even touching the thing about the guy with the gun at Kavanaugh's house because I know I will say something illegal if I talk about that too much.
here's I don't think what I'm going to say is illegal. I live with an attorney, so I feel okay saying some of this. I
Where's my
actually
beep
don't
button?
really give a shit that a guy with a gun showed up at Kavanaugh's house. Would I encourage it and say, like, you should do that? No, I won't say that. But also, like, welcome to life for the rest of us. This is the threat people are under constantly, is that someone is going to show up, not even in a private place, in a public place, and mow them down. And our government is happy to immediately respond to a threat against a rich white man who is accused of sexual assault, who
Very
now
credibly
holds the
accused of sexual
high.
assault.
Oh yeah, yeah. I say accused because I feel like I have to say that, but that man is guilty as fuck in my book. There's yeah. If it was like, do you think Kavanaugh did that or you die? I think Kavanaugh did that. Um, all of that being said, like this man now holds the highest judicial seat in the land, right? After all of that. And the 19 people, most of them children, mowed down by a man with a gun, let alone the black supermarket that was targeted just a week before,
20 minutes from my house.
with a gun that said, here are your reparations on it, with like a Bible verse. You know, I'm not advocating for this, but like people in power need to feel a little bit more pain.
Yeah, see,
Um,
this is why I'm keeping quiet on this, is because I will probably go further than that. I do not condone this action, but censored.
yeah. Again, that's what I'll say. Just
I
like generally, people in power need to feel a little more pain, whatever that means. Show up at their office every day and sit there, like do something. But the fact that like this is happening, first of all, that doesn't surprise me. Second of all, if you've ever studied the history of revolution anywhere, this shouldn't surprise you. Um, People are exhausted of being sitting ducks, and having people that are untouchable and who victimize people sitting in seats of power.
Yeah,
No,
let's move on before I incriminate
sorry.
myself. Oh,
Sorry.
it's all right. I've actually been I've been listening to old episodes of the Skeptocrat, the podcast. They do a news
Oh yeah.
podcast, and I actually just recently got to the episode where they brought a lawyer on, Andrew Torres, to talk about Brett Kavanaugh's nomination, and in that episode, I it hurt so much because they joked about how the only person worse that they could have picked than Brett Kavanaugh would have been Amy Coney Barrett.
Cool.
And then it was like, oh, he picked her next.
Of course he did. These. Sorry. I really hope I didn't get you in trouble with what I said. I don't think I
Well,
did.
this is my alt channel, so if it goes down, it's not a
Sorry.
huge loss.
If you want to take this episode down, I won't
No,
begrudge you. Uh,
there might be a few beeps in the re-upload.
hey, live your best life. It's fine. I mean, I think, God, and I again, I don't. This is different, so I get it. But part of the reason that I just gave up on being nice was because like the other side is not playing nice.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about being nice. They care about gaining power. Like, and if that's the case, if we are all then cowing to this idea that we have to be nice in order to like get our way, that's why we are here right now. Because one side is trying to play chess, and the other side has launched a Molotov cocktail onto the board.
Yeah.
Like, being nice is not going to solve anything in and of itself. Like, we have to either figure out a way to get the other side to. This doesn't even make sense to me. Like, follow the rules, because they won't. Or, like, we have to figure out new rules of engagement. That's all. But I'll stop.
Okay, next tweet.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. You're here to talk, not just to sit there.
I know, but I don't want to get you in trouble
No,
because I
no, it's
have
okay.
thoughts and feelings.
Anyway, Red Tsunami says, women don't have penises and men don't have wombs. Change my mind. So
What mind?
I've a bit of a surprise. Oh, you're not going to be able to see it because of the way I do this stupid thing. But yeah, I actually have I got a news article queued up for this. Man
I can
shocked to
see
dis.
it.
You can? Oh, you got the stream up, don't you? Okay. Man shocked to discover he has a fully functioning womb. Doctors tell the 37-year-old man it appears he could even get pregnant and give birth. Now, this is from Cosmopolitan, not the most reliable of sources, but this is a real thing. It's called persistent Mullerian duct syndrome, or PMDS. And basically, the men who have this, they have normal male chromosomes, just XY chromosomes. But what happened was, because sex is not a binary, not a strict binary, and because it's complicated and it develops in weird ways in the womb, it's an interaction of a bazillion different things. What happens here is there's a hormonal thing that normally happens that gets missed out on with people with persistent Mullerian duct syndrome. That normally, like when that hormone hits, it's supposed to cause the female bits to like basically shrivel up and disappear or turn into the male bits or whatever. And if it gets missed or if it delayed or whatever, it can result in someone presenting as fully male, having a fully functioning male genitalia system, reproductive system, and having a womb. And
Also,
so,
what are we doing with intersex people?
yeah,
What?
it's well, I think this would actually qualify as a type of intersex, would it not?
No, no, no. I'm sure it would. I just mean, like, generally speaking,
Yeah,
when
well,
people say
that's when they'd be
things
like,
like
oh,
this,
that's only a small percentage of the population. So
and
you know, well,
yeah,
I liked
and
Katie Montgomery has a my favorite comic of hers on this was that the like people will say like, oh, it's a very small percentage of the population. It's like, okay, guess what? You look at the universe, the atoms that make up your body, the elements that make up your body are less than 1% of the universe.
yeah.
So
But also, how are you going to make this very black and white statement and then say like, oh yeah, well, people that don't fit with this agree, but it's like not that many people. And
also, I hate the picture they chose in this article for this with from what was that movie where Arnold got pregnant, Junior or something?
I'm the worst person to ask about
I
movies.
don't know, but I don't recall that movie, but I feel like they treated male pregnancy as a joke
Of course they did.
because that was what you did at the time.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so anyway, the way this guy discovered it was he was actually having a period every month, so there would be blood coming out of his penis as he's peeing, and so he went to his doctor to like,
Sucks.
and apparently he lived with this for years, for like decades. He didn't go to his doctor till he was 37, but it was like every month he'd be peeing blood, and
Man,
like
that's rough.
yeah, and so
As someone who I understand solidarity, my brother in Christ, because that's fucking rough. And then to like not want to go to the doctor or
yeah,
like not go to the doctor, like what do you think is happening?
like every time I pee the day after I eat beets, I think about going to a doctor for a second.
Panic.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then I remember that I
Yeah.
had beets. It was like, no, it's okay.
We're good. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, men have wombs. Some women have penises. Well, some men have wombs. Some women have penises.
Yeah. Also, like, what do they think clitoris are? I mean, like, they're not a penis, but they're like a truncated version of one, right?
It's a pseudo
Like,
penis.
right.
You
Again,
look at the
and
internal anatomy. It's exactly the same thing.
I ask that, which really assumes that these people have ever seen or found a clitoris, and I feel like that's probably just not realistic, you know? Anyway,
See, I know that's the joke about finding the clitoris, but it's not hard to find. Like it's right there. Why do people
yeah,
have
it's not
trouble
hard
with
to
that?
find because they don't care and they don't look. And also, they don't have any science education.
I don't understand the idea of not caring enough about having both of you have fun during sex to like not spend a moment to figure that sort of thing out. Like how like Is sex not more fun when both people both, it could be more than both, but when everybody involved is actually enjoying themselves? Like,
It is. I mean, it is, but I think this. I'm gonna stop because I could launch an entire tirade about this. It certainly is more fun, but especially when you grow up in a very conservative brand of Christianity, all you learn about sex is
it's for babies.
sex bad and for creation, right? Outside of marriage, sex is bad. Inside of marriage, turn the lights off, do the missionary position, and just wait till it's over if you're a woman, effectively. And yes, I know that's not everyone, but also like female enjoyment of sex is not highly valued in the Christian church. Also, I'd say it's not highly valued at large. It's getting better, but yeah, that's another conversation.
Yeah, I don't know. Even when I was a Christian, we enjoyed enjoying sex. Like if it's a chore, then it shouldn't be a chore. Like, I don't know.
I feel like this could probably lead directly into the transformed wife, but I could be wrong.
Oh, no, Kevin Sorbo.
Ah, fine.
That would have been funny though.
Yeah.
Yeah, transformed wife is coming up. There's gay bathroom sex.
Dude, yeah, I have thoughts.
Yeah, so Kevin Sorbo says, "We are coming for your guns. Who are you sending? The cops who are too afraid to enter a school?" Isn't he like one of the Back the Blue guys? Like,
yeah, like, dog, who are you talking to?
And
like,
really,
nobody is saying that.
But here's the thing. Why were the cops afraid to go in the school? It's because the guy had a gun. So, like, the fact that the cops were afraid to go in the school is an argument against letting people have those kind of weapons.
Kevin Sorbo's a fucking idiot. Like, that's my...
That's... You don't need to apologize for that. That's just an objective fact at this point.
Yeah, I just realized that I'm, like, cussing left and right, which I know I do regularly, but, all of this tweet is just, like, a Sunday of rotting. One, because, like, again, who are you talking to? Nobody is saying that. Two, like, literally nobody is saying we're coming for your guns. We're just saying, like, could we please have, like, a little bit better background checks? Hello? Is this thing on?
Yeah.
Like,
I thought for a second you were like,
sorry.
Is my audio work?
Like, and then he comes out on the internet and is like, "Oh, guys, I got this hot take. I'm gonna make up a situation that isn't happening to self-own the people that I support." Like, have you experienced severe head trauma in your life? Like, I need to make sure before I start punching. Like, I'm damn near speechless because a man who is no longer relevant and hasn't been relevant for a long time is trying to, like, reinsert himself into the political sphere with, like, absolutely humiliating takes for himself.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. I see. I posted on like a little while ago when people were talking about, like, how, oh, well, if they don't have guns, they'll just use knives. So I posted, like, okay, you know what? If I knew for a fact, like, if there was some, like, let's say malevolent god situation going on where he's sending someone in to like assault my kid's school, and he's making me choose. You get to choose the weapon. Is it a gun or a knife? I'm taking the knife every time.
Yeah, buddy.
Because, like,
I mean,
and I had people on that thread arguing that, like, oh, well, knife wounds do a lot more damage than gun wounds. It's like, okay, first off, not AR-15 wounds. Like, if you've read some of the accounts that these ER doctors have been given of these AR-15 wounds, is like, it completely obliterates your internal organs, just like, even if you just get it near them. It's ridiculously powerful. But also, like, I've listened to like true crime podcasts where they'll talk about someone murdering someone by stabbing them except that wasn't the actual murder. They stabbed them 26 times,
And then had to like strangle them or something.
and then the person that was just stabbed 26 times fought back, and so had to be killed in a different method.
Right.
So it's and again, also like if the kid runs away, like yeah, maybe he could throw the knife at the kid, but like I'm like it'd be much easier to hit a kid with an AR-15 than a knife.
Right. I mean,
and then if you throw the knife, you don't have the knife anymore.
Here's the deal, right? Like, this isn't to say that this is not scary or that life isn't valuable or anything like that, right? Okay. One, if you have a knife, you have to get real close to me to do the old stabby stab. Second of all, if you come into a place where there's multiple people and you have a knife and you start stabbing someone, does it really suck to be that person that's being stabbed? Yes, absolutely. Is their life somehow less important? No, of course not. But you then have 25 other people that are going to be able to maybe get that guy in control.
It's a lot easier to disarm someone with a knife than a gun.
Right. If you have a gun, you can be pretty far away and you can spray bullets that do a ton of damage. Like, it's just such a garbage argument because a bunch of people don't want to give up a hobby. And beyond, okay, just I had to say this. I saw someone post the other day. I talked about it somewhere. This Christian that was like, Cain killed Abel with a rock, but God didn't just remove all the rocks. We don't have a rock problem. I saw that. We have a sin problem.
That's just such a shit take. Ugh.
What? Like, I don't even have it's like, it's literally so dumb, I'm struggling to make fun of it.
Yeah. It's like, what do you even say? Like, yeah, it's just like, it's so bad. It's so stupid. Like
clearly, yeah, you're right. I will say you're right. Rocks do still exist because that rattling sound you hear up here is a pebble. But like, outside of that, it's just like, how do functional adults believe this fucking shit? Like, how is it possible? Yeah. Anyway, like, okay, fine. Then why don't we just go back to the only weapon available to us are stones?
Sure. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
And see what happens.
I'll take it.
Bet you school shootings will drop.
Yep. I mean, hey, like, yeah, like, let's even just go back to when the Constitution was written.
Yeah, sure. Everybody can have a weapon that you can fire once and then take a minute to reload.
Right. So I said, well, if it takes 20 minutes to reload, great. You can have it. I'll give that to you. It's fine. Let's just get rid of the assault weapons.
Even just go back to the bolt action rifles from World War I. Even those would be
fine.
Massive improvement.
Also, like, if we're going to talk about a well-regulated militia.
Oh, they don't talk about the well-regulated militia.
Yeah.
They just talk about the right to bear arms.
Precisely.
Well, I mean, if you look up the definition of militia in the Constitution, it talks about the militia being like an organization run by the state. Like, it's essentially the people are supposed to have their own weapons so that when the state needs to call upon an army for its own defense, it has these people that already have their own weapons. Because back then, when you joined the army, you brought your own shit. Well, not the British Army, but right. You'd still have to buy your own shit in the British Army. But
I see people say a lot. Like, I actually saw someone post, and this was just like, again, such a cell phone, that they would never give up their assault weapon because if their kid got sick and they needed to fly them to another country in order to get treatment, and the government tried to stop them. Like, first of all, what kind of weird la la land do you live in? But second of all,
maybe if you guys had better healthcare, that wouldn't be necessary.
Like, maybe you could just have good healthcare in your own country, and then you wouldn't have to fucking try and fight off the American army to get your kid on.
Literally talking about hijacking an airplane to no, you wouldn't, like, when you land, you're not going to get to the hospital. You're going to get to a prison.
Right. Exactly. Like, it's just a fundamental misunderstanding of, one, how the world works, and two, like, you don't actually need a gun to solve that problem. What you need is healthcare.
Yeah.
And
it's like that's
also if you really think that any amount of weapons that you have in your possession as a single person is somehow going to fend off a tyrannical government, I invite you to check out how much we spend on defense every year and the weapons that are developed and used. Because you will not fight off a heat seeking missile, or literally anything else that the military wants to send your way with your stupid fucking AR-15 from your kitchen window.
Yeah, well, and that's not even a really a valid argument, I don't think, because like yeah, like the founding fathers probably did write that in with the consideration that they had just won their freedom from England
Right.
through revolution, but their whole thing was like it shouldn't be the federal government, it should be the states thing. Like that, it's like a lot of them were big fans of the states' rights thing. So it was like,
Right.
so like a state would bring up a militia. So if the federal government oversteps, then the state says, "Hey, we need to call on our militia to keep the feds at bay," sort of
Right.
thing. So even then, it's still a government organization. It is not just idiots on their compounds with their guns fighting off the police, which never ends well anyway.
Right. I
I
mean,
was about to say never happens, but then I remembered Waco and.
it happens. It just doesn't end well.
Mhm.
Uh, I just, yeah, the like complete lack of critical thinking skills, it's beyond. And I grew up in a family. My dad loved guns. He's a hunter or whatever. Like, all right. One of my earliest memories is having a gun put in my hand and being like taught how to shoot. Um, all of that to say, like, and I will say for my dad at least, like, he was a pretty responsible gun owner, kept him in a safe, did whatever. But like, the reality of the situation is, if someone breaks into your house in the middle of the night and you're a responsible gun owner, and your gun is locked in your safe, you're not getting to it.
Yeah, no.
Like, you're
If
not getting
yeah,
to
if you're
it.
keeping
You're
it
gonna
responsibly, it's not going to be good for home defense anyway.
Right, and then you're gonna what? You're gonna
And
get it
so
out of the
is
safe when you've been woken up in the middle of the night by an intruder who probably also has a gun, and then you're going to manage to somehow load it. Like, okay,
yeah,
they're
no,
just
that's
not
I
important. People just don't want to turn over their hobby and something that feel makes them feel like they have a big dick.
so I've started watching Stranger Things with the kids again, and first episode, that was exactly my thought, is that Will is running away from this monster, and he's got a bolt action rifle in his cupboard, and it takes him a long, like he does get it loaded before he gets caught by the monster, but it takes him a while to load it, and it's like realistically that's not going to be helpful. So it's like if you're keeping your gun responsibly, it's not going to be very useful for home protection. And so the alternative to that is, if you actually want home protection, is to keep your gun irresponsibly. Does that sound like a good idea?
I
Like,
mean,
you know what I got? I have a child-proof lock that's like one of those hotel locks that like you can only
yeah,
undo, and it like it screws deep into the door. So like if firefighters need to get in, they've probably got the equipment to bust down the door and get
right. I
past
mean, like,
that. But
if you really
a
want to
burglar
protect
that
yourself
picks
in
my
your home,
deadbolt, he's not going to be able to get through that. I mean, yeah, I've got windows all over the house, so if somebody wants to get in, they
panic
will.
button. If y'all want the best option of
Yeah.
getting someone to save you, panic button.
Oh, yeah, Blade Runner in the chat says is bringing up. I think that was a Lauren Boebert talking point originally. The after 9/11
God.
we didn't ban planes. It's like, yeah, guess what? Planes have more uses than just killing things.
Right. And also, like, no, we didn't ban them, but it became a hell of a lot harder to get
To
on
fly,
them.
and also immediately following 9/11, all the flights were grounded. Like that was actually East Coast in Canada. They took in a lot of refugees that were just on planes that had to land and couldn't
That
take
could,
off
yeah,
again. Um,
God. That woman has the brain of a garbanzo bean. And it just, the more she talks,
and what's funny is she hates that she gets lumped in with Marjorie Taylor Greene all the time. It's like, stop
well, then
being just
maybe
as stupid as
y'all
her.
shouldn't be yourself. Just be better.
All
If
right,
you hate that you get lumped together, but like,
stop lumping yourself together.
yeah, maybe just don't be the same person. I don't know.
Okay, on to the transformed wife.
Oof.
My daughter lived at home while she attended 1 year at the local university. She was asked to do a paper on gay sex in bathrooms. My husband called the professor. She had to drop out of the class. I'm sure universities are even more depraved now than they were 10 years ago. All right, so the funny thing about this is that she actually tweeted out almost this identically just a couple days ago, but then she deleted it because I guess people were like calling her out on duplicating the story.
Didn't so I have to look at this tweet really quick. I think she tweeted. Hold on, let me find it.
Well, I
There
went and
was
got
one version
yeah
that said she attended the local universe.
yes. That was the recent
Right.
one that got deleted. It either got deleted because of the spelling error and she just never bothered to do it again, or because she got called out for redoing it. This is the one from 2021. I've
Okay.
gotten to a point where I've stumbled across tweets and put them on here often enough that they've turned out being fake tweets. It's like, no, I'm just gonna stick to tweets that I
Roll with
screenshot
it.
myself instead of saving other
Oh
people's.
yeah, yeah,
And so
totally.
I couldn't
Well,
find her universe one, so I went to this one.
like of all the things that have never happened, that never happened the most.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
I would love to take that. That sounds like a fascinating class.
sign me up.
Like, I'd
I'm
write a paper on
curious.
gay sex in bathrooms.
Hell yeah, because
That'd be such a fun
it
thing to
happens,
research.
right? But it's
Yeah.
like very specific the way it happens, where it happens. Like there's an entire social dynamic to it. It isn't something that happens at your local Target where like you're shopping
Yeah,
with your
no,
child.
this would
It's
be
just
probably at clubs and bars mostly.
right. Like it's just God, this woman, I don't even like she is literally dumber than a box of rocks. Like if I had to choose who was going to become president, my toenail clippings or the transformed wife. My toes are up for duty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Well, I mean, we had 4 years of Donald Trump. We know that toenail clippings would have been better than him.
anything, literally anything, like skid marks from someone's underwear, just like anything. Um, she, the thing that is actually scary about her, even though we all make fun of her and like whatever, um, she is fundamental Christianity played out to like its final
Yep.
form. And I know
She
again that we make fun of her, and I think we should make fun of her. But I think what's important is that like even though she's very extreme, I think we should be aware that like this is fundamental Christianity patriarchy played out to the way that like the people that are now fighting to make our country a theocracy, that is what they want eventually.
yeah.
So I
She
know like that's not funny, haha, but it's scary as shit. So it's something to keep in mind.
well, she probably thinks The Handmaid's Tale is something to aspire to.
Oh, absolutely, she does. Yeah, absolutely. She's like, women don't need to go to college. Women need just to pop out babies. Before we had all these women popping out babies while their husband worked, and everything was safe and secure. Like, first of all, the only safe and secure babies were rich white babies. That's it.
Hmm.
And while poor white babies then had still a better chance of being safe and secure, they weren't necessarily guaranteed that. And when you go down the line to people of color, there was nothing safe or secure about their birth or their entire existence. Like, anyway, this woman is
Scary.
a walking MRSA infection. Okay.
All right, on to Frank Turek.
Speaking of
So
MRSA infections.
the entire Christian story is the answer to the problem of evil. Everybody's dealing with the problem of evil, but only Christianity answers it. That's what Christianity is. It's like I don't think he understands what the problem of evil is. Like it sounds like what he's saying
I don't think he understands how to tie his own shoes.
well, what I think I'm getting from here is that like he thinks that the problem of evil is just the idea that bad things exist. It's like, no, that's not the problem of evil. We know bad things exist. That doesn't like, and everybody has to deal with bad things. We're not saying the problem of evil is that our lives should be just absolutely perfect all the time. Like it could be, if God is all powerful, he could have just made us in heaven as it is.
Sure. But the
But
problem
the
is that you're saying a good God that created us exists, and somehow
a,
There's
a God who
wild
literally
evil
said,
allowed.
I, the Lord, create these things when with like evil was in the list. Like,
Hello, Isaiah.
yeah, Isaiah
Yeah,
53, I think.
I think that's what it is. Also, I don't remember the details. I'd have to look it up. But Frank Turek's PhD is from a school that got like fake accreditation.
Oh, is it?
Um, yeah, and
I
I had a
always,
whole tweet about it because I was like, huh, "This is the best."
I always thought he was one of the legitimate ones, and I actually kind of wondered at that because it's like, how is he so dumb? It's like
I'm gonna find it. I will search this quickly. No, I remember looking it up because I always do this when people put doctor in front of their name and they're tweeting out some nonsense. I'm like, hold on, please. I will be looking you up immediately and checking out your school's accreditation. Um, because God, let me see. Frank
have you
Turek.
have you done a tweet thread on Gene Kim yet?
No, Gene Kim.
Gene Kim. He's this crazy pastor guy who always has a whiteboard that just like you've probably seen Hemant tweet up pictures of like his whiteboard. It's all it looks like a conspiracy thing with the threads going everywhere and everything. It's nuts. But so he has a degree from Berkeley, and he has a PhD that is most likely from an unaccredited Christian diploma mill. But the way he presents it is I have a Bachelor of Science and a PhD from Berkeley and this other school. So like he doesn't tell you which degree comes from which school.
Of course.
But he's such like there's no possible way that he got a PhD from an actual school and remained what he is.
So I found it. Frank Turek has a doctorate in apologetics from a school that's accredited by TRACS, the Transnational Association of Christian Colleges. TRACS is a product of the Institute for Creation Research. TRACS was denied accreditation status by the government 3 times before it was granted by Bush as a political move.
Ooh.
So the more you know, right? I'm not saying you should troll Frank with that information,
okay.
but
so his school was accredited, but it not necessarily got its accreditation. I don't know, whatever.
It's accredited, but it was done to appease like I'd have to look up.
It was done for votes.
But yes, it was exactly. So it has accreditation, but like, do you think that's a valid accreditation?
I don't know. It's a doctorate in apologetics. He's got a PhD
exactly.
in BS.
Yeah.
So like I don't really think it matters whether your school was accredited when you get your PhD in arguing about nothing.
Yeah, you're arguing about like here's the thing, if there was evidence we wouldn't need apologetics.
Yeah, well that's one of my favorite things is that like so if you look at Greg Kokel's book Tactics, he has a whole chapter on flipping the burden of proof. And it's like you do realize that what you do is called apologetics, which literally means to make a defense of. So that like you can't call yourself an apologist and not accept the burden of proof because that's what apologetics means.
How are people so dumb? I genuinely wonder this because I grew up deeply indoctrinated in this shit. And I thought what I wanted to do with my life was like become like a missionary's wife and just like give everyone the gospel and like blah, 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 blah. And at a certain point, like real life was just like, hey bud, this shit is wrong. Like at least it doesn't sit right. Go look it up. Test some things out.
Eric, sorry to interrupt, but Eric Mishma in the chat just said "Go Devils." Is that a Brian Keith Dalton reference? Prager FU. So Eric is the same person who did the jocularity thing. So I'm hoping to get 2 for 2 on the references he's making.
Fingers crossed. I'm supporting you.
Oh yeah, and his icon is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy thumb. So.
Oh yes.
Eric, I like you.
Anyway, the short version of what I'm saying, there's no short version, it's always the long version, is that I wonder how adult human beings who have spent a lot of time studying something still believe this nonsense, but I digress. Eric, great job. 10 out of 10.
All right. So basically this is Frank completely misunderstanding what the problem of evil even is.
I'm shocked.
So like, yeah, the problem is not just that evil exists, it's the juxtaposition of evil existing simultaneously with a being who is supposed to be perfectly good and all powerful and created everything. This is like those characterizations just can't go together. Oh, I was wondering why I wasn't getting any super chats, and I'm looking at my stream thing, and there's like not an option for me to check on super chats. So I think I don't have super chats turned on, and that's why I'm not getting them. That makes sense then.
I assume you have like all the other prerequisites, the watch hours and whatnot.
I
here.
do. I do. I just. Oh, there's a button at the top called Insert Ad. I'm not going to use that button because I feel like that would be a douchebag thing to do.
Insert random ad. No idea what's
Yeah,
going on.
no, I'm going to
here.
make everybody 5 minutes behind on the stream because I inserted an ad. No, I just saw a dollar sign. I'm like, ooh, money.
Ooh, money, yes.
No, I'm not going to make people watch an ad. YouTube will automatically put like 50 ads in this thing when we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are saying no dollar sign in the chat bar. Okay, that makes sense. I was kind of getting sad, like, oh no, my super chat people didn't make it over to the new channel. And it's like, nope, it's me.
Like, we're not paying for this woman, sorry.
Anyway, that is the end of the tweets. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, thanks for having me. Yes, indeed, it was a blast.
It was.
As always, I will literally always make fun of people's tweets, so you can count me in anytime.
Yeah, and I will literally always forget to schedule people for these things, so I will likely take you up on that offer at some point and be like, hey, how's tomorrow?
Yeah, usually that's fine. I was incredibly busy the last couple of weeks, but most of the time, if you're like, oh, hey, you want to do this in the next like day or two, I'm like, yeah, let's do it.